Well, good afternoon. Your name's Kyle Foster?
Yes, yes I am.
Hi, Kyle. My name is Carolyn, and I'm going to be interviewing you this afternoon for this position that's available, and I'd just like to ask you some questions, if I
Yeah,
could.
absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
All right, well, let's see. I spent about 10 years working in retail before I finally decided that I was ready to move on to slightly more complicated things.
Mm-hmm.
I started at NWAC too, not too long ago,
Mm-hmm.
pursuing HIM. I've got an interest in data, so when I heard about Cancer Registry, I wanted to check that out, and that's basically where I am now.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds great. I see that you're applying for the oncology case finder position. What first made you interested in becoming a case finder?
There were actually a lot of things that came together all at once. I was interested in healthcare in general. I thought about going into nursing or physical therapy, but I didn't really feel like that was where my aptitudes lay.
Mm-hmm.
I heard about the HIM program at the college I was going to, and that's, since I'm more interested in computers and data and that sort of thing, I felt like that was much more up my alley. Also, my mother actually happened to start working as a cancer registrar during that time. She actually really enjoyed it, so I thought I'd start looking into it, and it seemed like something I felt like I could do well in, so.
That's awesome. Follow your talents, and it's great that your mom, you can have her help you as well.
Yes, me.
Why do you think you would be a better choice for this position than anyone else that we're interviewing today?
Well, I don't have experience being paid as a cancer registrar, but I have interned, so I do have at least some knowledge of the position. I also am an RHIT, so I do have general knowledge of how EHR systems work. In addition, because I'm new, because I don't have a lot of preconceptions about how this sort of thing can work, I like to think I bring as much flexibility as possible to the position.
Great. That sounds awesome. It sounds like you're real positive.
I try.
Oh, you're doing great. What do you think is your greatest strength?
My greatest strength, I'm very detail oriented. I'm good at making sure everything's precise and making sure that I have all my ducks in a row. That's a little boring maybe, but yeah, I like to think that getting down in the weeds is actually something I enjoy.
It's a necessary thing, isn't it? And how about your greatest weakness?
I prefer structure in a lot of ways. I really need, if I'm going to work at my best, I really need to have clear deadlines and clear direction. I'm not entrepreneurial. I need someone above me who can sort of point me in the right direction.
Right. Right, that works best for me. I understand exactly how you feel about that. Where do you plan to be in 5 years?
That's a good question. I know for a fact that I want to get my CTR, hopefully in a year, year and a half, once I've got enough experience. Beyond that, I'm sort of trying to keep my options open. Since I don't have a lot of experience, I don't want to cut off any paths, but for now I'm mostly just looking for a place where I can work with a team and, develop with, as part of a hospital that I can trust, basically.
Well, that sounds good. It sounds like you're, really okay about being in a learning situation as well.
Absolutely.
How would you feel working for someone who knew less than you did?
Well, I think in a lot of situations that was kind of expected. I'm sure a lot of managers have to cover a lot of different departments, so they're not going to have the level of expertise that someone could have if they were focusing on one job. As long as there's open communication, I'm certainly not going to let pride get in the way of doing a good job.
That sounds good. And you never know, your expertise may be beneficial to someone else as well. So that's a feather in your cap. That's great. What would you do if you had multiple tasks due at the end of the day and you knew that there was no conceivable way to finish them all by the deadline?
Well, the first thing you want to do is get very clear of what needs to be done. Make a list if you have to. Figure out what your limits are and what you can conceivably get done. Then you need a plan to basically create a new deadline and bring that to the boss as soon as possible. Make it clear that you know what needs to be done and know how you can get it done, just that you need a little bit more time. Once you've got the plan in place, it makes everything a lot easier, I think.
I think that's a good avenue to go through because communication is everything and you don't want your boss to be surprised and or you either, so that sounds wonderful. Well, listen, I just think it sounds like you're very enthusiastic about this job, and I just am so glad you came in to apply today, and we will be making some decisions probably within the next week or so. So we'll be sure and let you know, and thank you so much, Kyle.
Thank you. Hope to hear from you soon.
All right.